If you'd like to be able to listen to the show without ads and have full access to bonus content, that's an option. To find out how, please go to dogmanencounters.com/podcast. Tonight's guest is Casey. Casey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. Casey, please give us a brief bio on yourself.
Okay, so I'm a, believe it or not, a city boy. I was born in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Always had family in New Hampshire. Most of my family is in New Hampshire. Been vacationing up here for about 20 years. We have everything from seasonal campers to RVs, stuff like that. And we really enjoy camping, me and my family. So I would come up here for my family a lot for gatherings and birthdays and all that type of stuff. And then I decided to move here to Concord, New Hampshire, with my daughter, who's now 8, who's my wife. But I moved up here, and I have a seasonal campground in Lincoln, New Hampshire, which is in the White Mountain National Forest, or literally smack dab in it, pretty much. It's a beautiful place. I've been going there for years. I like sports. I really like walks. I like being free. I like dirt bikes. The typical, I guess you could say, the typical 34-year-old. I happen to be successful. I run a transportation business. You know, I just enjoy the outdoors, always have. Me and my family, like I said. And I am just an all-around good man. I've always been in the city, but I come out here as well. And when I moved out here, I really started, seeing what God had to offer and all the beautiful things in the world and in the forest. I just think it's beautiful. And me and my girlfriend, we share that. And we love hiking. We love we love new things. We love trails. We love everything. We travel in our RV, our camper. We have a camper now. So, I mean, I'm just, I guess, your typical guy that owns a business that loves the outdoors and tries to make the best out of life.
For a lot of reasons, more so than just the fact you love the outdoors the way you do. I hate the fact you had to have those Dogman encounters that we're going to talk about tonight. I really do hate that, but have you been on any walks in the woods since you had those experiences?
I have to say no, Vic. I have not been on any walks through the woods since my encounters. No.
No, I totally understand and can't say I blame you at all. That's how I expected it to be. I didn't see any way that you would have gone on any walks in the woods.
I just feel I'm not ready yet, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. Yeah, you're not ready yet. It's going to be some time before you are ready to head back into the woods. And I'm so glad you didn't make the mistake of trying to head back in. Thank goodness for that. But of course, we're going to get into why I'm saying these things in just a bit here, but all in good time. Casey, your Dogman encounters happened just a few weeks ago. Please tell us what you've gone through these past few weeks and the scope of all this.
Well, obviously it's been tough. It's, I think about it every day and I try to understand it and analyze it in my head. And I just try to understand how something like that exists, and it just should not exist. And it just throws me for a loop. And I try to understand it, and I try to realize that I mean, I wasn't going. It's just, yeah. These past few weeks have been hard, but I'm making headway. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like you're making headway. And like we talked about before, it's a process. It's going to take time, but it sure does sound like you're getting there, and that's wonderful. Unfortunately, right before I called Casey for the first time, he actually vomited because of how traumatic those experiences were. And when you listen to him talk about what he's been through, when he went through those encounters, I think you're going to understand why. You know, you're not cured. You're not totally back to good yet, but I'm just so glad that you're doing so much better than you were. I mean, listening to you talk now compared to that first conversation we had, night and day difference, because you were really in a bad way.
Yeah. I really appreciate, I mean, other people that have had encounters with these things or experiences. It's something that really is out of this world. It's yeah, and I've made a lot of headway, and I'm trying to make peace with it, but at the same time I'm taking my time with it, because like you said, it's a process, and you're absolutely right with everything that you're spot on.
It is a process. It's going to take time. How much time it takes, obviously, it depends on the nature of the encounters that an eyewitness has had. You had some bad encounters, so naturally it's going to take longer for you to get over them and actually get back to good. But like I said, you're making good progress, and as long as we can say that, then that's a great thing. I'm wondering, though, Casey, have you had a single good night's sleep since those experiences happened?
I've had a few dreams. I actually got prescribed anxiety medicine because of the encounter. I was having some anxiety, so I went to the hospital and got prescribed anxiety medication because I wasn't sleeping. And but at the same time, I'm sleeping now. And I'm sleeping, and I'm working through it. And the more that I work through it and speak about it, and I feel it's better for me, it helps me in some way, and it to know that I'm not the only one.
Oh, far from it. Yeah, you know people who've had encounters with these things, but you don't know they had their encounters because they just kept it to themselves. That's why I say it's kind of like a prison with no walls when you have a Dogman encounter in a lot of cases, because you're just terrified to share it with family and friends. You're afraid that they're going to deride you, and it's going to be the worst decision of your life to tell them. So I get it.
Yeah.
I really do. If you've had a Dogman encounter and would like to speak with me about it, whether in private or on the show, please go to dogmanencounters.com and submit a report. You'd been camping at that campground that you told us about for about 10 years running before the experiences that we're going to talk about tonight happened. With that in mind, on any of those prior trips to the campground, had anything strange happened?
You know, that's one of the craziest things is that for 10 years, me and my family had been camping at this RV park on the Pemigewasset River in Lincoln. It's called the Pemi River Campground. It is literally right on the river. There's an old trestle where they used to have trains, and it's just a beautiful place with beautiful water. And it had always been a beautiful, amazing place to me. And I had been in the woods, I don't know how many times, and never had a problem, no. And that's the thing, is in 10 years, no. Not one thing, not one book, not one thing. I had no idea. No.
Well, it sounds like a really nice place to go camping. I just hate the fact you had to have those experiences. That's just awful, but
It is.
I mean, we can't control whether you have an experience like that or not, so all we can do is just try to deal with it the best way we can. All right, Casey, please tell us about your encounters now. Give us every last detail that comes to mind.
Okay. All right. Oh, God. Okay. So, Me and my girlfriend, we are avid hikers outdoors. We like sunsets, well, just like any couple. So when we go up to the camper, it's kind of like our solitude. It's our way of getting out of the busy life and just taking a moment out to really enjoy the outdoors and enjoy each other's time. So we make a big thing of it. But on this particular weekend, it was the last weekend, obviously, for the seasonal campgrounds. I keep it there. I don't move it. I pay a couple $1,000s for them to do everything with all the hookups. But on this particular weekend, now I want to make it clear I have a dog whose name is Callie. She is 100-pound pit bull. She's actually 101 pounds, and she's the sweetest girl ever. And I take her. It's usually me and my girlfriend and my dog. And that's how we, obviously we take the dog with us everywhere, just like any family would, I would think. And my girlfriend wasn't feeling well. She came down with something, but this is one of the first times that I actually went alone. I told her that, you know what, you don't feel well. I still want to go hiking. Can you please drop me off at the trailhead? And pick me up in an hour just so I can get a picture of the sunset for us. Cause anybody who knows New Hampshire and the White Mountains, if you don't know, I can tell you, it's beautiful. You got Franconia Notch, you got the White Mountains, the trees in the fall time in October, in September, late September, October is absolutely stunning. Beautiful. I mean, it is, God, it's breathtaking. So my intention was to have her drop me off at this trailhead, go up with my dog. I had prepared some snacks, which was just the normal stuff, and I was gonna have her drop me off at this trailhead and pick me up in an hour. It was, it was like any other hike. It was like any other thing. It was still light out. It wasn't dusk yet, but anybody who knows thick woods knows that it could be light out. But when you walk in the woods, the trees give it cover and make it a little darker. So, okay. So she drops me off with my dog, and I want everybody to understand that I carry a pack, a backpack. It's a North Face backpack. And this backpack contains everything. Just because I've heard so many stories about people that run into, there's enough stuff in that backpack to keep you alive for a month, meaning everything from antibiotics to wraps if you get hurt, first aid kits. I actually have, and this comes into play later, so I have 2 machetes that are clipped so on each side of me with this backpack. So as I'm walking, this backpack is about 50 pounds, and I always carry it, and at least I know, so for my mind, I was safe. No matter what happened, I was gonna be okay because I had that pack. Little did I know. So my girlfriend at about 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time drops me off at this trailhead, and she gives me the regular wave, kiss goodbye, and I walk. Now, when you go into this trailhead, the trail is about 10 feet wide, maybe, and I was walking in the middle with my dog. And as soon as I go in the trailhead, it's fine. I'm having fun. My intention is to just get a good picture, enjoy nature, enjoy my dog, the time with my dog. I love my dog. She's part of my family. I'm sure everybody can relate to that. My girlfriend wasn't feeling well. And then that was fine with me. So I wanted to kind of make her happy and cheer her up. So I wanted to go up a little bit in the mountain and take some pictures of the foliage and stuff that I do all the time. So I'm walking up the trail. And as I'm going up the trail, I'm fine for about a quarter mile. I would say not as the crow flies, but as walking. So I maybe walked a quarter mile up, and it's not straight up, but it's more of, and this is a regular trail that people walk all the time. It's very clear that this trail is maintenanced. I don't know, people know that the Appalachian Mountains also run through the White Mountains. So it's a place of, I just wanted to go there. I had a feeling like I wanted to go there. So I wanted to do this hike and get these pictures. And that's what my focus was on. So I'm walking, and my dog is running around sniffing everything and being a dog. And we stop for a minute. We have a couple snacks. It was a regular hike until it wasn't. I go up, and I all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see a rock that would be perfect to take pictures on. It would be perfect because it had a little clearing on it where I could see above the trees and the foliage and get the pictures of the sunset for my girlfriend, who would be picking me up. Now she's picking me up in an hour. I'm about 30 minutes in. Oh, God. So, as we're walking, my dog stops dead. And when she did that, the hair on the back of my neck stood up because my dog is a 100-pound pit bull. She's not scared of much. And I've never seen her act that way. And I was like, what's this? What's the matter, girl? You okay? You all right? And she was like, and I was like,
hey, Casey, not to interrupt you, but please remember, feel free to take as many breaks as you need while we're doing this. There's no rush.
Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry. The encounter is just, okay. So, okay. My dog stops dead, and she is whining and crying. And I'm trying to ask her, baby, what's wrong? Because she's a female. And I said, baby, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's going on? And she started whining, and she looks at me and takes off down the trail, back to the trailhead. I don't even know where my dog is at this point. So as I'm watching my dog run, okay, I turn my head back around, and what I see, this thing, it walks it was on all fours at first, and it walks out, and it literally is 10 feet from me. I mean, this thing is so close to me, and I instantly knew. So I looked. Instantly, I knew this is not a wolf. This is not a bear. This is not I know what type of wildlife. I know what type of wildlife is out here. This is not right. The head on this thing was so big, and it's on all fours at this point. I am rooted to the spot. I cannot move because I'm in sheer terror. I didn't understand what I was looking at first. I did not. I mean, everybody's heard the word Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever, but this thing should not exist, man. It shouldn't be there. Like this thing is not right. It's not. Oh, God. So as soon as it walks out, I can instantly see its head. And you got to remember, it's not totally dark out yet. So I can see this thing in very, very just detail. It had a barreled chest, and I noticed that when it walked out. And the other thing I noticed is its eyes. It was an amber color eyes, but there was something about the eyes, man, that were just terrifying and intelligent. So as it's walking on all fours, it snarls at me, not loud, but oh God, it snarls at me. And I immediately noticed that the back of these things, it has like dog feet, right? Oh Lord, it has pads, just like a dog would, but on the front is hands, and I can see it. And it goes to the middle of the trail right in front of me. Oh Lord. And it stands up on its two legs. And as it's doing this, I can only explain it to somebody as if you've ever heard, when you crack something and it's like you accidentally crack your arm or something and it's really loud. When this thing stood up, I could hear the bones cracking, almost like it had been on all fours for a long time. Oh, God. Excuse me.
Take your time. You're doing just fine.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So this thing stands up, and when it stands up, I realize that it has hands like you and me would have hands. It has a thumb, an actual thumb. It has a barreled chest. The head on it is elongated to the point where the head was unproportionate to its body. Like it didn't belong. Like almost like it was. It didn't belong. I'm trying to figure out. I'm rooted to the spot. I got 2 machetes. I'm not thinking about anything. So as soon as it stands up, it puts its hands up. Oh my God. It puts its arms up and it starts wiggling its fingers. And I'm looking at its eyes, and its eyes are looking at me. And then it's like a dog would. If a dog puts its snout and it's looking at something intently, that's what it was doing to me. And it was looking at my machetes to me, back to my machetes, back to me, and it started wiggling its claw. And this thing had 3 to 4 inch claws, and they were at least an inch thick. And oh God. So, excuse me.
You want to take a little break?
No, sir.
Okay.
So, when this thing starts wiggling its fingers, I think it's about to attack me. I think that I am dead in the water. I truly thought that was it for me. I truly thought that was it. There's no other way to explain it. And I was terrified. I mean, nothing can prepare you for something like that, man. It was so this thing is up on 2 legs, and listen, it's 10 feet away from me. It could have grabbed me. It was so close to me that the next thing it did, while it's wiggling its fingers at me, looking at me intently, my dog my dog is gone. For everybody who's listening, my dog is gone. Okay. So this thing vocalized the next thing it did with its hands up while it's wiggling its fingers, like it was something I can't even begin to agree. It was wiggling its fingers, and when it vocalized at me, I was so close to it. I saw the back of its throat. That's how close this thing was to me. And I couldn't move. In my mind, I'm like, if I run, I'm done. If I do anything else, I am done. After it vocalizes, I vomit, because of the reverberation from this thing being so close to me and vocalizing. It made me vomit. And after I vomited, I looked back up to it, and it slaps a tree. Man, I'm talking about pine trees. Like, these are strong trees. These are not trees that you can just push over. This thing gouged. I mean, it slapped that tree so hard, and with its claws, with its hands. I don't know what the heck it was, but it did it. And it was the most terrifying thing. And after that, it just goes back on all fours, snarls at me, and walks back in the woods. And I am stuck. I am thinking to myself, what's going on here? What the heck is that? What did I just witness? Did I just witness a demon? Did I just witness because I've heard people, Sasquatch is on TV. I don't know. I understand about that. But this thing, it shouldn't exist, man. The head was not proportionate. It had a barreled chest. I want to describe it for those listening. The head was elongated like a dog, if you ever seen a German Shepherd, I want you to take that head and times it by 5. And then I want you to take the jaw power. I can't imagine the damage this thing could have done if it wanted to. And it had me dead to rights. It could have ripped me limb for limb. And I wish I could say that this was the end. But it's not. Not even close. So it leaves, and as it leaves, and I can no longer see it. It is in the thick trees, and I gather my wits about me, and I don't carry a firearm. I don't hunt. I don't really. I know a lot of people do that, and my family does that, but it's just not my thing. So I don't carry firearms, and I just started walking back. I got my wits about me. I started walking back down the trail. And right before I turn around to walk back down the trail, I see something huge step out of the woods, and instantly in my head I say, not again, not again, not again. Please, not again. But then I realized something, that now at this point, it's about to get dark. The sun, I've already missed the sunset. So I need to get back down to the car. I know that, but I don't want to run. And I see about 100 feet up the trail from me was a Sasquatch, man. I don't, like a Sasquatch. I don't get it. But it was there, and it was about 100 feet away from me, so I just instantly started walking, power walking, and the whole time I'm crying. I wet myself, I puked, I'm walking, I finally get to the car, and I can't tell you how amazing it was when I got to that car, and here's another thing, I kept looking back, and every time I looked back, the Sasquatch was doing a hand motion, like almost shooing me away, if that makes sense to anybody. And it was making a sound, and I'm going to try to mimic this, but there's no way I could. And it would go, rah, rah, rah. And man, I can't explain to you. So when I get into the car, this isn't the end. I wish God, I wish this was the end, but it's not. So I go, and you got to remember, so the trailhead, I want to tell everybody, the trailhead was only a quarter mile from my camper. So we're talking about not far. So I get in the car, and my girlfriend I look at my dog in the back seat, and she is shaking. And my girlfriend goes, "What happened?" And I said, I was speechless, man. I didn't know what to say. I just told her that, "Get out of here as fast as you can, please." So we drive back to the camper. I give her a little bit of information, but I'm not trying to scare her either, because we're still in the camper. We're still there for one more night. And now I know that these things are so close. So we're in the camper. Oh God. We're in the camper. And in my camper, we have a 30-foot Frontier. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful camper. And as we're doing that, we're just hanging out, and she's trying to calm me down, and she's trying to help me. She's an amazing woman, and I hear the lock. So in order to open up a door, okay, or my door to my camper, you have to lift the latch, and you have to pull it out. I had the door locked, of course. I mean, after the experience I just had, I couldn't stop crying and thinking about it, and it was just a mess. So I hear this lock go up like something is trying to open it. My girlfriend jumps behind me. I pull out my 2 machetes, and I said, "I've had enough." And at that point, I was fearful. I thought this thing was coming in to finish me off. That's truly what I thought. And I said, "No more, no more. I'm either gonna die. I don't know. Is it gonna kill me? Is it gonna? And then silence, and it pounded on the door 3 times. And I could hear it after that, running through the brush, going wherever it went. And then, oh God. So after that, we're sitting in the camper. We're still terrified, thinking this thing might come back. And then I start hearing the vocalizations, and so does she. And she goes, "What did you do? What happened?" And I said, "I can't talk about it." And she was getting kind of upset with me, which is understandable. And I said, I don't know. I couldn't get it out at that point in time. And they were vocalizing. And needless to say, nothing came back that night. But I didn't sleep much that night, and neither did she. And we left early morning, about 7, 8 o'clock.
Wow, Casey, I am so sorry you had to experience those things. That is horrible. It's not like life isn't difficult enough as it is already. If you have to experience things like that on top of what you're already going through in day-to-day life, it just isn't fair, is it?
No, man, I wasn't there for that. I didn't want that. That came. It was terrifying, man. I don't know any other way to. Anybody who's ever had an encounter, even something that's not close quarters, it is still. It throws you for a loop until you can get past it. Until you can. And I don't think anybody ever gets past it. Honestly, I think that you just learn to live with it better.
Well, you get past it in varying degrees. But also that depends on how traumatic your experience was, or as in your case, experience is. But like I said, I think you're already off to a good start. It's just going to take time for you to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
You told me that Dogman was about 6 feet tall on all fours. How tall was it on 2 legs, though?
Oh, God. So it was 10 feet away from me. Let's say the trail wasn't flat. It was a little bit up. So I would say it had to have been 10 feet. When it went up, it just kept going and going. And I remember it was slow motion. Time stopped, man. Time stopped. It was like somebody hit a pause button and I was in a fever dream. And what I mean by that is if anybody's ever had a fever, they know that, when you have a fever, you have severe nightmares. And that's what this felt like. It was like, this can't be real. Is this real? And I came to terms like it throws you for a loop, and it's wild. It's something. And then yeah.
It's a lot. I know, it's a lot. If the Dogman was about 10 feet tall, how wide would you say it was at the shoulders?
Oh, God. So when it had walked out originally, I knew that it wasn't right, because proportionally this thing was wrong. It was all wrong. It was wrong. And when it stood up, man, I would say 3 feet, 4 feet, but it had a barrel chest, but its shoulders were so massive and its arms were lanky, but well defined. I don't know how to explain it. Well defined and this thing was something out of hell. It was, yeah. I would say about 3 to 4 feet, anywhere in between there.
10 feet tall and about 3 to 4 feet wide.
Yeah,
Holy
man.
cow.
Yeah, man. This thing could have reached out and just take. I thank God to this day.
It could have reached out and done whatever it wanted to do to you, but the most important thing to never lose sight of is the fact that it didn't do anything like that to you. Thank goodness for that, too.
Yeah, that's a blessing. I look back, like I said, I looked back on this and I try to, you've helped me a lot to understand it. And now that I understand it more, it's easier to get past. And I feel like I came to you with my encounter because, there's other people out there like me that, and I feel like we need to support each other when it comes to that, because 1, it's traumatic. 2, it feels good to know that you're not alone and that you're not the only one, in that. It's just something that you can never prepare for. And it's just, like you said, life is hard enough. And I love the outdoors. There's nothing more than I love than taking a walk with my dog and my girlfriend. That's what I do. And I haven't been back to the woods, but I miss it already.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Yeah, unfortunately, the moment that Dogman decided to force that encounter to happen, it took something away from you. Something you're never going to get back, and that's the innocence that the outdoors had at one time. But that's okay, because you will get back to good. It's just going to take time. And before I start asking you more questions, just had an idea pop into my head. Do you think it would help you if I put you into contact with another Dogman eyewitness so you could compare notes with them? Because if you do want me to do that, I thought of just the eyewitness I want to put you into contact with.
I think that'd be great.
Okay, well, great. I'll make that happen, and of course I'll coordinate with you on this behind the scenes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So that Dogman was right around 10 feet tall, about 3 to 4 feet wide, but what about the Sasquatch? How big was it?
Oh my God, man. Oh. I mean, even from 100 feet away, shoulders 5 feet, 4 to 5 feet wide. This thing was so big. Conical head, big, red eyes, but it was so, I could see the silhouette, and it's 100 feet away, so I could see the silhouette, and I could see it walking towards me, and it just made me collect myself and get out of there. And the Sasquatch was, the comparison would be, I guess, about anywhere from 8 to 9 feet tall. It was bigger than a bodybuilder, man. It was bigger than anything I've ever seen in that nothing can prepare you. There's nothing that can prepare you, man. When you see these type of things, it was so, oh God. Yeah, it was massive. I mean, if I'm trying to think of an example here for the people listening. If you took a sheet of plywood, man, it wouldn't do it justice. It would still be taller than it, and it would still be bigger than it, and it was probably 8 to 9 feet tall, 4 feet across the shoulders. It was big. Its legs, obviously it hung down, like its arms when it was walking. I noticed this. It put its arms in front of each other, like it was walking, like power walking, as if a human was power walking. That's what it was doing, but it was coming straight towards me. So I just started walking. I didn't want to run. I didn't want to have any, like, it was, yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to go overboard there, but yeah.
No, you didn't go overboard at all. It's just so much to take in. I get it. Man. I really do. It's a lot. It really is a lot. And it sounds like that Sasquatch was really big, but the Dogman was bigger then.
Yes, I'm going to be honest with you, yeah. And I don't know if that's because I saw it up close. I honestly don't know which one was bigger, but that Dogman, when it came out on all fours, it was, I instantly knew it wasn't a wolf, it wasn't a dog, it was nothing. And when it stood up, I mean, even my dog, let's say I have a pit bull, okay? This dog, when it stands up, is about 4 feet tall. So, it had to have been 10 feet, man. It had to have. There's no way that it could be any smaller than that. It has to be. Because it was up to my neck. I'm 5'10", for those who don't know. I'm 5'10". I'm well built. I go to the gym, stuff like that. But this thing was up to my neck on all fours. And like a dire wolf, I know everybody, for those of you who don't know, a dire wolf is the biggest wolf that, on record, and they are extinct, or so they say. And it made that look like nothing. I mean, in the head, I wanna go back to the head and the eyes, because the head was so disproportional. And by that, I mean the snout was so long, like a German Shepherd. And I could tell that this thing could do whatever it wanted. There's nothing that could touch this thing. I mean, it's a freak. The Dogman was so big, because and I could see down its throat when it vocalized, when it reverberated. I vomited. It was that. It's like if you're at a Godsmack concert and you're standing right in front of the speaker, and it makes you vomit because of all the bass. It's something, it reverberates through you, and And then it left, and but the thing is when it stood up, it was on its pads. I remember specifically, it wouldn't take its eyes off me. That's the other thing that scared me. I wish it would have just. I couldn't stop looking at him. I couldn't stop looking at this thing, and it was just. And it started freaking out and slapping trees and scaring me. And yeah, man.
It's a lot. That's just
man.
too much. It really is. Are you sure you don't want to take a break now?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, well, like I said, if that ever changes, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
When the Dogman vocalized, you said you could see down its throat, but did it spray you with spit, slobber when it was doing that?
No, it did not. It did not. When it vocalized, it took its, and I remember specifically, when it vocalized, remember how I explained how it had its hands facing itself, but it was kind of moving its claws around before it smacked the tree and vocalized. But when it vocalized, it put its arms in back of it and leaned forward at me and vocalized. And when it vocalized, it was so scary, man. It was more scary than the tree thing, because it was so close to me, man. It was like 4 feet away when it leaned in and did that. So when it leaned in, I literally saw it down its freaking throat. That's how close, because he leaned in. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah.
If you're only 4 feet away, you're well within grabbing distance, but it didn't grab you. It could have grabbed you, but it didn't. That's really important.
Didn't. It is. And, you helped me realize a lot. And I've really been talking about it with people, not people, but my I should say my girlfriend. And, she's helped me a lot through this. And she's an amazing woman. And, oh, God. And it's just one of those things that, like you said, you gotta understand that. I understand now that it wasn't. It almost seems like this thing just wanted to freaking terrify me as much as it could, because I don't understand why it did what it did and not finish the job. And I thought for the longest time, or not the longest time, but I thought since the encounter that when it came to the camper, that it was going to finish me off. That was it. That was it coming, and it pounding on that door. You have to have arms to pound on a door. Oh my God. It just, so then it was so much for one night, man. It was just too much. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? What did I do to deserve this? And I realized to myself, you didn't do anything to deserve this. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I'm trying to tell myself, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. And you're not the only one. These things happen in the daytime, the nighttime. I've been listening to your show, and it really helps me.
Well, I'm so glad you know about this show, and of course, I'm so glad it helps you the way it does. I am. When we spoke about your encounters for the first time, Casey, it seemed like what it did with its claws to that tree trunk definitely shook you up quite a bit, and understandably so, but what it wound up doing with its eyes, that might have shaken you up even more. Please go into more detail about what it did with its eyes.
God. Yeah, you're right. So the eyes were they glue with no flashlight. Now, I had no flashlight. The eyes were this amber, but it had the eyes of a dog, but it wasn't a dog. It was something more I don't know what the heck this thing was, but like I said, my pack had 2 machetes down each side. And why do I carry 2 machetes? For bushwhacking, for protection. If me and my girlfriend are on a hike, or me and anybody, I want to keep everybody safe. And I don't really I don't disagree with firearms at all. I think they're very important, but I'm not looking to hunt or kill anything in the woods. That's not what I do. So when I'm looking in this thing's eyes, it's looking at me like a dog would. If a dog would put its head forward, it's looking at me, down to each machete, back to me, down to each machete, back to me, and it's doing it so quick. And then that's when it snarled and vocalized and did the thing with his hands. And God, and this thing, the eyes, and when it hit the tree, it scared me so bad that I urinated on myself. I did. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that's not what happened, because it's the truth. And I urinated on myself. I puked. I mean, this thing terrified me. It did its job. Whatever it was trying to accomplish, it did it. And it's crazy how this thing followed me. I don't understand how this thing followed me all the way home. Like or to the camper. I mean, I know it was that same thing. I mean, and I don't know. And I want people to understand, no, I have no neighbors that would try to just come into my camper and pound on the door. There's nobody that would do that at 11 o'clock at night. There's nobody that would do that. And I heard the vocalizations almost like they were still there and they're still pissed. And I've been up there for 10 years and I've never heard any of that. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry, go right ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please don't apologize. You're just working your way through it. When I looked at your machetes, you saw recognition in its eyes, but did you see anything else?
Oh, yeah. It knew exactly. When it raises up and I hear the cracking and all that, it is intently, and I mean intently, as if a dog is looking at you intently in your eyes, but you realize that is not. This thing has something about it that is intelligent, and that's when it raises. After it looks at my machetes, it raises its claws almost as if to say, now to me, oh God, Lord. So what it feels like to me, or what it did feel like, was he was either sizing up the machetes, like looking at his hands, being like, yeah, I could take him. Or maybe, yeah, I'm about to attack him. I don't know. Or come here, or come here. I don't know. I have no idea. And to this day, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to ever see the thing again. I hope I never see the freaking thing again. I don't want that. That's not what I'm on the earth for. I just want beautiful pictures and walks. And now, go right ahead. I don't want to go.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Like I said, you're just working your way through all this.
Okay.
Did it telegraph the fact that the more frightened it made you, the happier it was?
Absolutely. And you hit it right on the nose right there. It actually, I thought I saw it smile, but I'm not positive that that's what it was, so I can't say for sure. But the more it terrified me, I think when I wet myself, I can't believe I'm saying this. When I wet myself, it smiled. I think I don't know. I can't say, but it showed its teeth and kind of like smirked. And a dog shouldn't be able to smirk, man. It doesn't work like that. Yeah.
It's a lot to process, I understand. Did you notice any scars on it?
Yes. Oh my God. It had scars going all down, almost like it had been fighting like its whole life. There was a huge scar going down the left side of its rib cage. I don't understand. And I only noticed that because when it was walking away, I had a side profile view. When it came in and when it left, I had a side profile view. And I don't know where the Sasquatch comes into play either. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know if they are in cahoots together. I don't know if they hang out. I don't know. Like, it's all so strange, man. But that Dogman, I mean, whoever's listening to this, just be careful when you go in the woods. Please. Just be careful. Be smart. If something doesn't feel right, just get out of the woods, please.
When it was standing on two legs, how much of a bend did you notice in its legs?
Okay, so when it was on two legs, okay, if you could imagine a dog, it's on its pads and it has hands. So it was bent at the knees at all times. So if you can imagine a dog standing up, but its knees were bent, like it could pounce at any time. It could pounce at any time. It could pounce at me. It could pounce up in the tree. And I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever, after the power, man, that I saw with that tree, I have no doubt in my mind this thing could do some serious, I don't know what it's capable of, man, but I know it's something serious. I have no idea what it's capable of, bro, but it's you know, and in a way, I know this sounds crazy, but in a way, it was amazing, but in the most terrifying way amazing, because I had heard of like Sasquatch and stuff, but that was never my thing. My thing was just being one with nature and loving, you know, I love walking with my dog and my girlfriend, and it was just that the legs were bent the whole time, like it could jump anywhere it wanted to. Yeah, to answer your question, yes.
I don't know what it is, but lately there sure has been a run of bad encounters coming in. You don't know about this. I didn't share this with you, but I've been working with other eyewitnesses who've had some pretty darn bad encounters also. I don't know what it is. Just from time to time, the encounters that come in are particularly bad, and unfortunately, that's how it is right now. But anyway, enough on that. How much time had passed between the point when you last had eyes on that Dogman and when you saw that Sasquatch step out into view?
And I think about this the most out of all of it, because I'm trying to understand why the Sasquatch where that comes into play here, because I have never seen, for everybody that's listening and for you, I have never seen a Sasquatch before, guys. I am not a researcher. I am not, I just like to hike. I don't go looking for these things. I don't want these things. I don't want nothing to do with them. It was about not even 2 minutes, not even 120 seconds. Because when I saw the Sasquatch, that tell me to get it. Literally, it was making the sounds, as I stated before, like a rah, rah, rah. And it was making a motion for me to like get out. And so it got me, and it started walking towards me, power walking towards me. So I just started walking, and it stayed 100 feet behind me, and I kept looking back. It was there, looking back, right before, but it would stay 100 feet behind me. It wouldn't come any closer. And I remember looking back, and it wasn't there anymore. And I was at the bottom of the trailhead.
I can only imagine the thoughts that must have been going through your head when all this was playing out. Wow, poor guy.
I thought I was going to die. I thought that's it. When I saw that, not the Sasquatch, but the Dogman, I thought I was done. I thought when he came, and then the second time, when it came to the camper, I thought that was it. He was there to finish me off, and that was it. And that's why he pounded on the door. I know 100% fact that he could have ripped that door off and had his way with whatever he wanted, but he didn't. And you've helped me realize a lot, and for that I am sincerely grateful. But it's just something that stays with you, and you look at things a little different. And am I going to deprive my daughter of the woods? No. But am I going to let her go by herself? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, because unless if we're, and I think about, are you going to bring your daughter hiking? Yeah, as long as she's with me, but I don't want anything like that to happen to her, man. Like, so it's hard. It's hard. It's so freaking hard.
Oh, it's too hard.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do? You don't want to deprive your children of the woods, because the woods are beautiful. They really are, and they hold so many secrets, and I knew that. But I never in a million years thought that I would encounter what I did. And I didn't thought, I mean, I had heard the term, don't get me wrong, but I didn't I'm like, New Hampshire, no way. Like, but these things, I want people to know they're everywhere. Don't think that because it's daytime that you're saying that one of these encounters can't happen, because I promise you it will. It happened to me. So just because you're not hiking at night doesn't mean you need to be vigilant and listen to your gut, because I did have a feeling before. When my dog stopped, my heart stopped, because I almost knew something bad was gonna. And I hope nobody experiences what I had to go through. And I just want everybody to be safe, and I want people to know that these things are out there, and they're not supposed to exist, but they do, and that there are things in this world that we don't understand yet. And maybe we do understand them. People like yourself understand them a lot more than I do. But these things are I mean, actually, this is a good point. The god Anubis, the Egyptian god Anubis, was a dog. They said he had a dog-like head, and if you look, it's wild. Because he said that he had risen an army of dogs. And there's all these theories out there, and I'm not going down the rabbit hole or nothing, but do I want to understand it? Yeah, of course. I think anybody would. But I don't want to do that to myself. I want to move on, and I really want to get back into the woods and do what I love.
Well, like I told you before, it's not going to happen soon, more than likely, but I think that day is coming. I really do think that. Speaking of how you thought it had followed you down to the camper so it could kill you, he could have done that up on the mountain if he really wanted to do that, Casey, but he didn't. Please never forget that.
No, I won't. And I have you to thank for that. And I thank you because it really does put a little bit of understanding in it. I think that those things are built just to destroy and make fear, and they seem to get off on it, and it's terrible.
It is terrible. Yeah, it's not right. From what I understand, you had a conversation with your mother about those encounters. How'd that go?
Oh, Lord. She could tell something was different with me when I came back home. And I was very quiet. I was still in my head about all this, until I got a hold of you and got a hold of this channel. I was really kind of in the dark. I didn't really know. And I spoke to my mother, and my mother knew that I was, but she could just look in my face and just say, she I don't think she believed me at the time, but after, with all, there's no way. She's very supportive now, and I'm grateful for that. But at first, she was very kind of. She's not. It's hard to explain this stuff because when you explain it to somebody who's never, she's been, camping there for 10 years, like we talked about, and she's never heard a vocal. So, it was hard for her to accept the fact that but after talking with me for about an hour, she realized, wow, I think you guys should find another place to camp. Put your camper for the season. But I stayed right there, and I'll be there next year, but I don't think I'm going on any, I don't know. I can't say what the future holds. I can only do my best day by day and get through this, and just look at it for what it is. And it's you who helped me, and I am so grateful. I'm working. I'm trying.
Well, that's all you can do. Yeah, take it one day at a time. Have your encounters compromised your relationship with your daughter due to the limits that your experiences have put on you?
So, like I said, I live in Concord, New Hampshire, which is not as rural by any means. It's a small city. It's the capital of New Hampshire. It's about 20 to 30,000 people. It's not anything, I would say, that's, big, but it's got some woods, and I know that she's safe, but I just, for some reason, I want to be with her. I'm not taking her in the deep woods yet, and I'll never tell her about my encounter. But the one thing that I will tell her, she's only 8 years old, so there's no way I would ever, she still believes in unicorns and Santa Claus, and that's how I want to keep it. And I don't usually bring my daughter unless it's a small hike. But I think as far as bringing her in a national forest, in the camper, in a campground, that's a little different. But I don't think I'd ever take her on a hike. No. Like a hike, no. But I feel like it has not compromised us at all because she has no idea about it. But what I feel is I don't want to deprive her of that. If she loves the woods, she loves the woods. And I know she does. I just want to be with her and be back by nighttime. And I don't know. I want to get to that point, but I'm not there yet. And that's the truth.
She's lucky to have such a great dad. Oh, you're welcome. You poor guy. I can only imagine how this is all complicated things for you. All the worries that you've got about her having an experience like the ones that you had. That's just horrible. But like you said, hopefully that'll never happen.
Right.
I hope it never does. Your grandfather tried to get you to report your encounters to a ranger. What more can you tell us about that?
Oh my God. So my grandfather, we're all God-fearing men. We all I grew up Catholic. Still am, honestly. Still Catholic, I'm a God-fearing man. I live, laugh, and love. But my grandfather, I confided in him and told him what happened to me. And he suggested that I tell the rangers up there, to which I said absolutely not. I'm not even comfortable. No, I know. He's just in his 80s, and he's always been. My father was never there, so he's my father. He's like a father figure to me. So I respect everything he says, but it wasn't. I knew that wasn't the right thing to do about it. I just knew. I knew. So I didn't go, and I didn't want to be made fun of. I didn't want to cause any problems for myself. I didn't want nothing of that sort, because when it comes to this topic, there's a lot of just stuff that happens that shouldn't. So basically, I explained it to him, and he understood why.
I'm so glad you knew better than to make that mistake. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've got a few more questions, but let's just call it at this point here, Casey. You've really been through it talking about these experiences.
Yeah, it's been tough, but I really thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I really do think this is going to help you more than you ever know, coming on and putting these experiences out there. I really do, especially once you have a chance to see all the support coming in. I think it's really going to help.
I really do too.
That's what this is all about. But having said that, I'm not going anywhere. If you ever need my help again, please let me know. And of course, I'll be there for you.
Thank you. That means more than you know.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. But having said that, thanks again so much for your time, and have a great night, or at least try to.